The moment started like any other afternoon, until a small voice cut through the quiet. "Ma'am, I know that missing child," the girl said, her eyes wide and trembling. Those words hung in the air, like a storm about to break. On the other side of the room, the millionaire woman froze, her coffee slipping from her hand. Her heart raced. Memories she thought were buried surfacing in an instant. Who was this girl, and how could she possibly know what the world had been searching for? The tension was palpable, a mix of fear, hope, and disbelief. This wasn't just another news story or passing tragedy, it was personal. The woman's mind flashed back to the countless headlines, the missing child posters, and the endless nights wondering if she would ever find answers. And now, here was a young girl standing in front of her, holding the key to a mystery that had haunted her life for years. As the girl took a hesitant step closer, her words barely a whisper, the millionaire woman felt a crack in her carefully built composure. Something profound was about to unfold, something that could change everything she thought she knew. But what the girl was about to reveal was more shocking than anyone could imagine. The millionaire woman's hand shook as she sank into the chair, her mind racing to piece together the connection. The girl's small frame seemed so fragile, yet there was a weight in her eyes that demanded attention. How could a child know something so deeply hidden, something that had been the center of her every waking thought for years? The room felt smaller, the air heavier, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. For years, the woman had built walls around herself, wealth, power, and endless distractions, but nothing could shield her from the grief of a missing child. She had poured money into searches, hired private investigators, even appeared on television, hoping that one day someone would come forward with answers. Every lead had ended in disappointment, every hope dashed, leaving her cautious, almost skeptical of any claim. Yet now, the girl's voice trembled with certainty, and her words hinted at truths the woman had never imagined. There was something in the way she spoke, something familiar and undeniable. Questions that had long haunted her heart surged forward. Who had this girl seen? What had she heard? And most importantly, could this tiny stranger hold the key to a secret the world had almost forgotten? The tension in the room was electric, the answers just out of reach. The girl's eyes flickered nervously, and for a moment, the millionaire woman wondered if she had imagined it all. But then the girl spoke again, her voice steadying as if she had rehearsed every word in secret. "I saw her last summer," she said. "Near the park? Near the fountain." That simple statement sent a shiver down the woman's spine. Memories she had tried to suppress, the endless missing child reports, the desperate phone calls, the late-night drives through empty streets came rushing back with painful clarity. Meanwhile, the girl's own story was layered with its own mysteries. She had been living in the neighborhood, unnoticed by most adults, observing the comings and goings of people around her. Her parents had warned her to stay out of trouble, but curiosity had led her to notice things no one else had. And now, for reasons she didn't fully understand, she felt compelled to speak the truth to someone who could act. The millionaire woman's mind raced with possibilities, suspicions, and fears. Could this child be trusted? Or was she imagining connections that weren't there? Each question seemed to pull her deeper into a maze of uncertainty. Outside the window, the city moved on, oblivious to the secret that now hovered between them, fragile, urgent, and potentially life. The tension was unbearable, yet impossible to turn away from. The millionaire woman's hands gripped the edge of the table as the girl continued, her words painting a picture more vivid and chilling than anything the woman had feared. "She was taken at dusk," the girl said, her voice barely audible, "by someone who knew exactly where no one would see." The woman's breath caught. Every detail the girl offered seemed to pull the past and present together, yet left more questions than answers. A storm was brewing inside the woman, guilt, and an urgent need to act, but she also felt a creeping doubt. How much of this was memory, how much was truth, and how much danger was still lurking? She could feel the weight of the missing child's story pressing on her chest. A story she had chased for years, but never fully understood until this moment. Outside, the city hummed innocently, unaware of the fragile lives caught in a web of secrets and fear. The girl glanced around nervously, as if sensing someone or something watching them. Her small fingers fidgeted, and the millionaire woman realized that revealing this information had put both of them in a precarious position. The tension in the room was suffocating. Every second stretched, every heartbeat thumped like a warning. One question loomed over them both. Would the truth finally surface, or had they stepped into something far more dangerous than either of them could handle? The next move could change everything, but no one yet knew which way the scales would tip. Just as the millionaire woman was about to ask another question, her phone buzzed sharply on the table. She hesitated, a sinking feeling twisting in her stomach, then picked it up. The screen displayed an unknown number, but the message that followed froze her blood. Stop asking questions. Some truths are meant to stay hidden. The girl's eyes widened, and she clutched the woman's arm instinctively. "They know you're asking about her," the girl whispered. The room suddenly felt smaller, the shadows deeper, as if the walls themselves were closing in. Every memory, every lead the woman had chased suddenly seemed fragile against this unseen threat. Someone had been watching, waiting, and now they were warning her to stop. The stakes had shifted. What had seemed like a fragile connection between a lost child and a small witness was suddenly part of a much larger, far more dangerous puzzle. The woman's mind raced. Who was behind the message? How close had they been to discovering the child's whereabouts? And could the girl's observations put them both at risk? Fear and determination collided inside her. She wanted answers, yet every instinct screamed caution. Outside, the city lights flickered, indifferent to the danger brewing inside the quiet apartment. The clock ticked on, and with each passing second, the tension escalated. Every choice from here on could trigger consequences no one was ready for. The millionaire woman's heart pounded as she followed the girl's instructions to a quiet alley near the park, the same place the girl had described. Every step felt charged with urgency, every shadow a potential threat. Then, just beyond a chain-link fence, they saw her, the missing child, huddled in a small, dimly lit corner, frightened but alive. Relief washed over the woman in a wave so intense it left her momentarily speechless. The years of fear, searching, and unanswered questions seemed to crystallize in that single, perfect moment. As she rushed forward to embrace the child, the girl pulled her back gently. "Wait," she said, pointing to a figure emerging from the shadows. The person, cloaked and hurried, seemed to freeze when they saw the women. The millionaire's instincts kicked in. She realized the danger wasn't over. Whoever had orchestrated the disappearance was still close, still watching. Then, in an unexpected twist, the figure stepped into the light, revealing not a stranger, but someone the woman had trusted implicitly for years. Shock and betrayal hit her like a tidal wave, but there was no time to process it fully. She had the child safe now, but the revelation of the true culprit left a lingering chill. The mystery was solved, but the consequences of this hidden betrayal were only beginning to unfold, leaving her with questions that might never be fully answered. The millionaire woman held the child close, feeling the warmth and life she had feared lost forever. Tears blurred her vision as relief finally replaced the years of fear and anxiety. The girl who had guided her here stood quietly beside them, her small hand brushing against the child's shoulder, a silent hero whose courage had changed everything. For the first time in years, the woman felt a fragile sense of peace, knowing the child was safe and the nightmare had ended. But the revelation of the trusted figure's betrayal lingered, a reminder that even in triumph, life could be unpredictable and complex. Authorities were called, and the truth about the person responsible for the child's disappearance began to emerge. While justice would take its course, the woman realized that some scars could never fully fade, but so too did the strength and resilience that had carried them to this moment. As she looked at the child and the brave girl who had spoken up, she felt gratitude, humility, and a renewed sense of purpose. Sometimes, she understood, courage came from the most unexpected places, and while the past could haunt, it was the choices we make in the present that define our future. In that quiet moment, hope felt real again, and the woman knew that life, though fragile, could still be beautiful.